Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today I've got some really exciting news. For one, we could be looking at a brand new GPU manufacturer besides Nvidia, AMD, or Intel. Is this what the PS5 looks like? And I've got an update on the Radeon 7. But first, there's a game with zero microtransactions and a sweet concept with today's sponsor. While you pick your jaw off the floor, Ambidangerous is a controller-based top-down PC shooter that lets you control two different characters at the same time. From getting new weapons to reviving your other characters, this game is a real challenge, but provides a feeling of accomplishment most games today simply can't. Plus, it's just $1.99, so pick yours up on Steam today at the link in the description below. The GPU, a pretty incredible invention made specifically for insane levels of parallel processing. Unfortunately, there's one major issue when it comes to these marvels, at least when it pertains to discrete graphics cards. They're currently built by only two companies. This means a lack of competition, which leaves for some annoying issues, especially when one company dominates a portion of the market. Well, that may change before long. Not only do we have the hope of Intel competing soon, but a fairly new graphics maker is about to release a seriously powerful product. The story was originally brought to my attention by the Meld Militia, so thanks for that. And remember to send any tips or leaks to tip@gamermeld.com. Anyway, the company, hopefully I pronounced this right, Jingjia Micro is a Chinese military civilian integrated company that started in 2006. They currently have a few GPUs under the belt, with the two most recent being the 28nm JM7000 and JM7200. The more powerful 7200 version reportedly competes with Nvidia's GT640 at 10 watts. And that's seriously impressive because the 640 has a 49 watt CDP. Of course, that's a really weak processor when we compare it to the mid to high-end desktop market. Well, that's where today's story comes in. The company recently reported a revenue of $36 million for the first half of 2019, and I guess they plan to put that money to good use, because according to the recent CN beta report, they had two new GPUs coming. The JM9231, which is reported to be comparable to Nvidia's GTX 1050, and then the JM9271, that's actually at the performance level of a GTX 1080. That's more or less mid-range at this point, but it's still a very impressive feat for such a small company. And though that comparison is based on the floating point performance, which can't really be compared between two different architectures, at 1.8 GHz and PCI Express 4.0, it'll likely get really close. Now, there is one caveat. They've traditionally worked in a military market, but according to Tom's Hardware, they've begun marketing their products outside of that sector. With that said, neither GPUs currently support DirectX 12 or Vulkan, but this could change before their release. And while the specs aren't amazing, plus they're using relatively expensive HBM memory, there's still a chance they'll eventually make their way to other markets and can actually bring the price of GPUs down to more reasonable levels. Of course, only time will tell. Next up for today, we have a render of what the next-gen Sony PS5 could potentially look like, though please tell me it's not true. The Dutch site Let's Go Digital published the render that's based on a patent Sony's technical director apparently filed with the World Intellectual Property Office, as well as the Brazilian National Institute of Industrial Property. You can see that it looks pretty, I personally think it looks really odd. It makes me think of something tech companies of the 90s thought consoles would look like in the future. What's pretty wild is that the senior artist at the UK game publisher Codemasters actually confirmed that it looks like multiple PlayStation developer kits that they have. Now, he actually deleted the tweet, and his entire Twitter account, which tells me he likely got in trouble with Sony. With that said, dev kits don't usually look like the final product, but it's so intricate that it would be really weird for Sony to make this just for developers. Still though, I personally don't like it, but that's just me. One of the funny things I notice is that the render makes it look really compact, but if that disk drive is a full-size Blu-ray drive, this thing is massive. Of course, that really could be a clue that it is just a dev kit. Still, it may not be, and if you want to see updates on this, make sure to subscribe to Gamer Meld. Speaking of updates, we have a new one from Tom's Hardware on the Radeon 7. As many of you may know from a previous video, we got some evidence that AMD's still fairly new Radeon 7 had been given end-of-life status, meaning the GPUs aren't being manufactured anymore. Well, we now have some pretty definitive proof that this is in fact the case, as Matt Bach from Puget Systems confirmed that it is in fact EOL. Ultimately, this lends more credence to the rumors and leaks on an upcoming high-end Navi GPU. Hopefully it comes soon. So while that does it for today, what do you think about a new possible GPU manufacturer entering the bunch? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.